If you and I were to share this block of chocolate, how many pieces would we each get? And if we had to share it with someone else, 3 people in total, how many pieces would each of us get? And what if we had to share it between 4? How many each? Could we share it equally amongst 5 people? What about 6? That's really all a fraction is. It's a way of dividing up a whole into equal parts. It's just like division, except I'm dividing one whole into smaller fractions, smaller pieces of a whole. So when we're teaching fractions, let's take every opportunity we can to use physical representations. There are fraction blocks and things that you can use for common fractions like halves, thirds, quarters, and so on. But you can also just fold or cut paper. Or why not use edible things like that chocolate I showed you? I promise your students will never forget that lesson. And as students get older and become more comfortable with abstract representations, we can draw pictures with regular even divisions. I'll show you some in a minute. Put fractions in the right place on a number line, and of course write them with symbols the way you're probably used to, with one number above the other and a horizontal line in between. It's important to remember, though, that this is just a symbolic representation. The meaning of the fraction is about dividing up wholes into equal parts. Always come back to the meaning to help understand and explain what's going on, especially when those fraction operation algorithms start getting a bit complicated and confusing. Draw a picture, get out a few blocks of chocolate or make a pizza. Always ask yourself, what does it mean? As usual, look for other positional and kinesthetic representations. Get your students up and moving, putting themselves in order or position, finding equivalent fractions, using physical objects to perform fraction operations, and so on. Be careful with technology here. We need tools that help students understand the meaning of what they're doing with fractions, not just a magic black box that does the maths for them so they don't have to think. Fractions are indicated by the use of words like share and divide, out of, how much or what proportion or what percentage. So let's look more formally at some of the language and representations used for fractions. A fraction is written with one number above another, with a horizontal line between them. Please always write your fractions vertically like this. Never use a slanted line or try to squash them up to fit next to each other on one line. This causes problems with understanding and executing the standard fraction algorithms, especially for multiplication, and it sets bad habits that cause problems later on when the fractions get more complicated and involve algebraic expressions. Always write fractions vertically and take 2 lines to keep them legible. The number on top is called the numerator and the number on the bottom is the denominator. The line in between is called the vinculum. The vinculum, the line in the middle of a fraction, means divide. This fraction, 4/7, just means we take our whole and divide it up into 7 equal pieces. The denominator is 7. Here we want 4 of those pieces. The numerator tells us how many pieces of that denomination to use. 4/7.